Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Did you already enter the derby mode? I am already totally in the Derby d'Italia, the biggest game of Italy, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Italian time. I can't wait. We go back on the words of Thiago Motta in press conference, not that much in detail, but some important things were said, so pay attention here. Then the latest update, who will miss the game of tomorrow? What are the predicted lineups of tomorrow? There is a big surprise because Kenan Yildiz will not play as a number 10 if we believe the experts of Mercato, the experts of the lineups, the experts of Italian journalism, especially if we are speaking about football. Pay attention because I want to come back on Napoli. They just beat Lecce 1-0, and there is one thing of the team of Antonio Conte that is really worrying me. So put a maximum of like if you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe. And today I will ask you one thing more. I know it's Saturday. I know that yesterday when I uploaded the vlog, it was Friday. You're enjoying your weekend and you're totally right to do so. But if you find a moment, go back, click on it, like the video, watch it. Because it's not the usual vlog, you know, a random guy in the stands filming himself. No. I tried really to be at the side of the field, being there behind the goal, exclusive images where you see the players like you never saw them before. Dusan Vlahovic like this, a few centimeters from me. Timo Weah, Kenan Yildiz on the pitch, controlling that ball, dribbling. It's beautiful, really. And you know it, I count on you because these videos, they need to be bangers. More views these videos has, more opportunities we have in the future. You know, you never know. I did it. Maybe in the future I can do it with someone. You never know in life. So that's what I'm asking you, a maximum of support. Go, click, like the video, watch it, and then you tell me what you thought about it. Are you ready? Because now we start speaking about the Derby d'Italia. Thiago Motta in press conference today, he didn't speak a lot. Today he was quite short, was quite concentrated, quite focused on the game of tomorrow. There was one thing that I said when we lost against Stuttgart. I said, the head. The head will be extremely important because it's true that I had one question. What will happen when Juventus will concede first? Something that we never experienced before. Well, it happened in the game of Champions League against Leipzig, and Juventus reacted extremely well. We know that it's a team that if we concede first, they are able to come back on the score. And in that game, even with 10 men, we were even able to win. Now we have a new situation. We have a team that all game long, they attacked us. We were really under pressure. We lost for the first time. And now we are expecting a reaction. How do we react to a loss? Well, Thiago Motta today said, what about the mental? What about the head? I don't need to work on the mental and the head of the players. They're all doing fine. They're all doing well. Look, tomorrow we play against a big team, but we are as well a big team. And like every single big team in Europe, we have big expectations. You don't have a lot of time when you win to celebrate and to think about how crazy it was, how beautiful it was. You win, you keep it there, you forget about it, and you think about the next one. And it's exactly the same when you lose, because it happens that you lose. Well, you think about it, and then you put it aside and you think about the next one. And tomorrow is the next one. And tomorrow is a big one. Who are the favorites for Scudetto? He said Inter and Napoli. They are the favorites of Serie A because they are the two teams that won the league the last 2 years. Inter last year, Napoli 2 years before. I do a break in that press conference to come back on Napoli. I just watched the game Napoli against Lecce. They won 1-0. They needed to win, you know, in the last 20 minutes of the game, because before that it was 0-0 with a beautiful defensive phase of Lecce. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep it longer. Guys, the thing that is worrying me the most about the team of Antonio Conte is that they win these 30 games. They win in a dirty way. It's not a spectacular Napoli, a la Spalletti, for example, at the moment. It's not a Napoli that you say, Mamma mia, I will put myself as a neutral in front of the television to enjoy them. But they win. Game after game after game. I can tell you that, for example, the game against Parma, now the game against Lecce, but there are a few games like that they won with the minimal gap, 1-0, 2-1, or whatever, without really, in terms of performance, impressing us. Well, I tell you, that is what is worrying me. Because if Antonio Conte and his boys are able to win these games where they are supposed on paper to draw because they didn't play well, because What will they do when they will be at their peak of their form? What will they do when the other teams will drop a bit in physicality, like it could already be the moment at the moment? So that's really an annoying one. That's really worrying me. And then I come back on Milan because I have important things to share. Then he spoke about Yildiz. Can he play as a number 10 tomorrow? That was a question of a journalist. He's speaking about Thiago Motta now. And he said, we will see. Everything is possible. So he didn't want to give us today any indications about the lineups of tomorrow. The journalists have one. Look, the journalists, they go immediately to it. I go from one to the other. Di Gregorio into the goal. Cambiaso on the right side. Cabal on the left side. In the middle, Gatti and Kalulu. The strongest defenders that we have at the moment, without Gleison Bremer, of course. Without Kalulu playing on the right side with Cambiaso on the left. I don't know if we will see a lot of time Cambiaso anymore on the left without Gleison Bremer. Locatelli, McKennie, their double pivot. And that's already a surprise with McKennie there with Locatelli. Conceição on the right side, Yildiz on the left side, and not as a number 10, because the number 10 could be tomorrow, not Adzic, but Niccolò Fagioli, and then Dusan Vlahovic on top. You know, the curiosity when I'm reading that predicted lineup is, of course, Locatelli, McKennie, Fagioli, because we were always asking a change of midfield in the last 2 seasons, which we did. With Kefren Thuram, with Koopmeiners. Well, all these players are not there. Douglas Luiz, and all these players tomorrow, they are not available. Kefren Thuram is there, but the other ones no. So we are playing with actually a 23-24 midfield. McKennie, Fagioli, and Locatelli. So I'm expecting from them a total different game as what they were able to offer us in the last 2 seasons. So I'm counting really on Locatelli, McKennie, Fagioli to do the difference tomorrow. It will be extremely important that they are at their peak, at their best. Fagioli as a number 10, I don't know if he really likes it. The best performances of this year, he offered them as a regista, a bit more behind. And tomorrow he will have to do the difference. Then we know with Thiago Motta, he always has these kinds of surprises. You never know what he can invent himself. Maybe Yildiz as a 10, maybe Adzic from the start as a number 10. You never know. But at the moment, that's the predicted lineup. He didn't want to say too much. What about the Di Marco danger? Well, he studied the game really well. He said it's not only Di Marco, because on that side of the field, on their left side, they have also a Bastoni that can really go up there and being a threat. Also Mkhitaryan, when he's playing, is also drifting there on their left side of the field, so pay attention because they are really strong there. What about us? Will we play with Cambiaso Wea? Will we still insist with Conceição? He didn't want to say anything about the lineup, not even about Perin. Because the journalist said, you know, you always said who deserves play. If you're looking at the game of Stuttgart, well, Perini totally deserves to have continuity. He said it could be everything and everyone can play tomorrow, except, of course, of the injuries. And that's where we go towards the injuries of tomorrow. Koopmeiners didn't recuperate. Nico Gonzalez didn't recuperate. Douglas Luiz will not be there tomorrow. Milik, of course, will not be there. Gleison Bremer will not be there. If you are looking at the value of these players on transfer market, that's 209 million value that will be not even in the bench, but in the stands, because they will not be there. From Inter, Acerbi will miss, Çalhanoğlu will miss, and Carlos Augusto will miss. If I put aside a bit the words of Thiago Motta and I give my own opinion, where I think Juventus can win the game is in the fact that Juventus is much younger. You will tell me, Beppe, the experience of Inter is a really lethal team, it's a really strong team, like Thiago Motta said as well. Pay attention to their positive transition. When they go in counter-attack, they are really lethal. But I believe that Juventus, they have one thing for them, the youth, because we are extremely young. We are the second youngest team of Serie A. Inter is the oldest team of Serie A. I think that at a certain moment it can make a difference. I want that we enter with that really fighting spirit in our eyes. I really want to play with intensity. I want to actually put pressure on Inter, not after the 20th minute, not studying too much the game. I really want to enter like Stuttgart entered against Juve. From the first minute until the 95th, we have the youth on our side. We have Mbangula, we have Adzic, we have these young players, Kenan Yildiz. We have a lot of young players that really can do the difference there in terms of intensity, pushing. We know that, for example, Di Marco is a player that can give his best in 65, 70 minutes. Tomorrow, Carlos Augusto will miss from Inter. And that's important because that's a bit more difficult for Simone Inzaghi to put him out of the game. That means that he will also try to manage himself a bit more than usually when he knows that he can give everything for 65, 70 minutes and then leaving spot. Well, that's where we need to push. Intensity, working. They have the experience from their side. We have that youth spirit on our side. We have the fresh legs. So let's go with that, even if, of course, missing all these players can be potentially a problem. All games must be played at 200%. These are the words of Thiago Motta in press conference. I agree with him. But I really want to see it now, because that's not what we did against Stuttgart. We want really tomorrow to play a game at 200%. That can be really what will make the difference. And then that's what he said. That's what he said about the press conference. So not a lot of news there. He didn't want to reveal too much. He's playing a bit, that game of hiding things, which is totally normal after before the game of Inter-Juve, the Derby d'Italia. Now I want to come back on a problem, because you know that today at 6 p.m. Should have been played Bologna against Milan. In the region of Emilia, Bologna, etc., there are at the moment a lot of problems with the weather, flood, and it's really a problem. So I always said football is the least important thing from the important things. Seriously. Football is the most important thing from the non-important things. So it depends how you want to say it. But health before everything. But on the other side, Bologna-Milan should have been played, because they already had a B plan. La Lega, so Serie A, they wanted to play that game. They said security for the people. If we cannot guarantee the security, the health for the people, what do? We play with closed doors. Bologna-Milan without supporters, we play because we need to continue to play. I don't know if people always realize in Italy how important football is, because it's not just a show. It's not just like you go to the theater. It's not just an entertainment. Football is a business. Football is a huge business. I think it's the fourth power of Italy in terms of entry, in terms of power. Well, that game will not be played. They even had a C plan, possibly playing in the stadium of Como, where Como didn't play at home. They played away. They lost 1-0, by the way, against Torino, so the field was available for them. Now the problem is that game will not be played and will be postponed to maybe February. It will be a total different game. Bologna-Milan will be a total different game, because Bologna-Milan would have been played without Theo Hernandez, without Renders. That's an advantage in a way from Bologna. Not that Bologna would have won or not, but that's an advantage for Bologna. But you know what is the other problem? Is that postponing that game, these suspensions, they will carry over immediately. So that means that in the midweek game, there will be Milan-Napoli, no Theo Hernandez, no Renders, again, the team of Antonio Conte. And that's in a way or another, because of bad decision influencing the results. I don't know. I'm not saying it's because of Napoli, it's because of Milan. No, it's just, strange decision that has been taken, not by Serie A, not by Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, but because of the state. And this is influencing. So in terms of businesses, because you never know who can win, who can enter Champions League, who not. At the end, sometimes it's, it depends on 1 point, on 3 points. Well, it can influence the total business model. Because if they don't enter Champions League, it's a problem for that team. And if it's because they played against Napoli without their best player, it's changing. If Bologna, for example, they are in relegation zone and they lose against Milan with new players in the transfer market of January, it changed the game. So according to me, they need to pay a bit more attention. I know it's better to play with the supporters, but when you have a B plan, when you have a C plan, first you need to think about that. First you need to think we need to play that game, because there is not a lot of space in the calendars. That was something that annoyed me a lot. And then I finish with a few words of Kenan Yildiz, that made a huge big interview on Gazzetta dello Sport, that maybe in the coming days I will come back on, because there are really beautiful topics. He spoke, because I took one paragraph, he spoke about his role on the pitch. He said, when I was playing with the youth, I was always playing in the midfield. Here at Juventus now, at the moment, they are always playing me more on the side, but I play wherever is needed. The current phase of decline, because a lot of people are speaking about the phase of decline, because he said, these moments in football, they happen. We are really working hard to get out of this period, and I'm doing my best to score and offer more to the team. We must be persistent to have good performances. Does the 0 goals in Serie A have heavy weight. He said, no, in football, it's not only about scoring, it's also about what you offer. And that's important. Of course, scoring is great and is fantastic, but I personally, Kenan Yildiz, not Beppe, I focus more on the play and what the mister is asking from me. This is something that I kept saying the last few weeks. Against Stuttgart, he didn't play well. We know it. We already spoke about it. But there were certain games where he was criticized while I was watching him doing extremely well from what was asked from him, from Thiago Motta. If you are looking at Thiago Motta, what he's asking from the wingers, playing extremely wide, nearly on the sideline, well, he was doing it. And he was never losing a ball. He was suffering for the team. He was helping the team. Of course, we are missing that creativity. But if at the moment, to keep a bit more balance, this is what the coach is asking, you cannot blame Kenan Yildiz because he's offering what we need to offer. Then, of course, tomorrow, I would love to see him emulating, replicating the celebration of Alessandro Del Piero, because you know it, la linguaccia, the tongue, saw the bird in a Derby d'Italia after a beautiful free kick, going there, wide open arms, the tongue there, the bird of la linguaccia di Alessandro Del Piero. It would be beautiful if Kenan Yildiz tomorrow can give us the 3 points and can give us also that beautiful celebration with the tongue. Let's see if we can do it tomorrow or not. We will be here for a watch along, pre-game, watch along, and then post-game. Grazie ragazzi, put a maximum of like. Don't forget the vlog, super important. Grazie, forza Juve. Ciao.